Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and today I'll be making a 5x7 card. And I'm going to first cut down some of this gorgeous paper from Polka Doodles. This is from a physical paper pad. I think it's called Spring Time? No, The Color of Spring. So I've crafted from this paper pad before. I just love the colors. And I did pull out a different pattern paper to go along with it, but ultimately I actually found a different one that I thought would fit this card a little bit better. Now the little Winnie in the corner there, she's from the Winnie Daisy collection, which is amazing. When it first came out, I had to get the full bundle, so it came with the pre-colored in two different versions and with the black and white as well. So a lot of options. And the first thing I did was I just printed all of the pre-colored Winnies out from this collection. So I have a lot of them to craft with now. And what I thought I would do on this card is create my own little shaker pouch. And what's cool about just using a little shaker pouch is that you can have basically your own little portable sort of shaker window, and just place it where you need it. And especially since I'm going to be using some confetti, which is nice and thin, the shaker pouch itself doesn't need to be super thick to accommodate your thicker shaker fills. Like if you like to use seed beads and things like that, this may not be the best method. But essentially what I'm doing is creating a little pouch. And now I'm leaving this print in just so that you can see where I went wrong. So what I've done here is I'm trying to create a pouch that's going to go behind the aperture that was cut out using this particular balloon die. So I'm using the balloon that fell out of it as a way to gauge how big this pouch needs to be. The thing that I did not take into consideration, and you'll see it in a little bit here, is what I wanted to do as the way I wanted to assemble this was I wanted to fold in the 1/4-inch glue tabs that I've left, and I'm folding both layers, because when you fold this in half, there's going to be 2 layers of acetate. And so I'm actually folding both, I'm using or keeping both of those glue tabs, and I'll adhere them on top of each other. So that right there is going to give me a little bit of dimension or sort of thickness to my shaker pouch. And that's going to be sufficient for confetti, size shaker fill. It's because you've got basically 2 layers of acetate in between your front window and your back window. And the problem with doing it the way that I did it was that when those folded pieces of the folded glue tabs are adhered, you can actually see those glue tabs because I didn't leave enough clearance around my the aperture in order to ensure that those glue tabs are hidden. So here, let's say I was making a shaker pouch for this shape aperture. What you want to do is leave yourself 1/2 inch on 3 sides. Basically the 3 sides that are not your folded. So this is a folded piece of acetate here, so you can see the 2 sides and the bottom of the balloon. I'm leaving myself 1/2 inch. A little bit more than 1/2 inch is fine too, but at the very least 1/2 inch, because I'm using 1/4-inch glue tabs. And so when those 1/4-inch glue tabs are folded in, they're still going to be hidden and you won't be able to see those glue tabs through the aperture that you've designed this for. So that is the big thing that I learned from my mistake on that first one. So I did redo that first one, but I wanted to still keep it in the video just to show you. And I have a mix of different sort of, I guess they both types of confetti have a little bit of that AB finish, a little bit of that Aurora Borealis. One is hexagonal and a little bit more clear, and then the other is circle confetti in different sizes. And I decided to use this pattern paper instead with the polka dot design because I think the circle polka dots actually, it seems like that goes a little bit better with the Winnie image because her balloon has some circle designs on them, and it's a little bit less busy than the original pattern paper. So here you did see me trace out my apertures onto my card base so that I know where those apertures will be and where I need to line up my pattern paper that's going to be visible through the aperture. And that way you can really use your scraps or just conserve on your pattern paper if you want, because you don't need to line the entire card front with pattern paper. Most of it, the way that I've designed this card anyways, most of it's going to get hidden. And the die set that I'm using is, it's from Pink and Main. If it's still available, I'll link to it. There is a coordinating stamp set that goes with it, but I'm only using the dies, and the dies actually have the little strings for the balloons as well. So I've die cut those out of some light blue pearlescent cardstock, which goes a little bit with the sort of the butterfly wings that Winnie is wearing. And I've just picked out a sentiment from another stamp set that I have from Polka Doodles. I'll link to everything in the description box below if it's still available. And I'm gonna just trim this down and give it a little bit of a slanty edge. And I thought that I would sort of do that sketchy line border. I love that look, and I always forget that it's a fun little option to kind of frame up your, especially, I like to do it especially when I hand cut my sentiment. That way, if your cuts aren't straight, which mine generally are not, then that sketchy border actually, obfuscates that completely. You can't really tell that it's an imperfectly cut little sentiment banner. And I've just attached a little bit of low profile foam to the back of Winnie so that she's got a little bit of dimension. And I wanted to do all of this onto this first panel here while it's still nice and flat. That way I can really burnish and get everything to firmly stick down. And now comes the easy part, which is just now that I have individual little shaker pouches, I can just line those up behind the aperture window they were designed for. And so I thought this was really fun, and I've never done shaker pouches in this way where I've got multiples of them going on a card like this, but I think it works out really, really well. And in particular, I think it would be useful if you have a design where you wanted each of these little windows to be a different color, for example, which I didn't think to do, but that would have been fun too. So now that I've got my shaker pouches down, I am just going to use my low profile foam. I don't think it needs to be too thick because these shaker pouches are relatively thin, and that's the other reason why I like doing them, because if you are at all worried about needing to add extra postage to your card, this still keeps your card relatively thin, so I don't think you'll have any problems shipping this out. I did put some double-sided adhesive onto the backs of the shaker pouch as well, to make sure that everything is well adhered down. And that's my card complete. So really love the making these individual little thin pouches. It just is so nice and easy and convenient to then just, you know, put them where you want them, and it makes it easy to kind of preview how everything looks. And if you don't like a particular fill, you can always before you close up that final edge, you can always preview it, and then if you want to change out your shaker fill, you can. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider liking, commenting, and sharing. And if you want to catch new videos as I post them, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing the notification bell. Thanks so much. Until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.